U.S. plotted to kill Julian Assange and make it look like an accident.
Here's a summary of the article.
U.S. spies hatched a plot to kidnap or even poison Julian Assange using shady Spanish private detectives after he leaked 250,000 top-secret documents online, his extradition hearing was told yesterday. It's simply untrue that Julian Assange put U.S. sources' lives in danger, says his father. Julian Assange's father has said it is simply untrue that his son's WikiLeaks revelations put sources' lives in danger, as his U.S. extradition battle yesterday was told he would be at a high risk of suicide if he was sent to an American prison. James Lewis QC, representing the U.S. government, said Assange had conspired with former U.S. Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to hack Department of Defense computers and share its secrets. What is Julian Assange charged with in the U.S.? The U.S. Department of Justice has charged WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange with 18 crimes. Julian Assange would be at risk of suicide in an inhuman and degrading U.S. jail, says his QC. Julian Assange would be a suicide risk if extradited to the U.S., his legal team has said. U.S. agents disappeared after WikiLeaks published 250,000 document. Sources revealed by WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange disappeared after he put them at risk of torture and murder, the court has heard. Edward Fitzgerald, QC, representing Assange, has said he would rely on Manning's case to argue for Assange to stay in the UK. Manning is a former U.S. soldier who was court-martialed after disclosing to WikiLeaks nearly 750,000 military and diplomatic documents.
This post received a score of 14,196, with an upvote ratio of 84%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than U.S. spies hatched a plot to kidnap or even poison Julian Assange using shady Spanish private detectives. That reads like a line from a dime store spy novel. Edit, I wonder if people give the CIA too much credit or too little credit.
So there he was, see? Just smoking his cigarette, feet up on his desk, his .38 in the pocket of his duster hanging on the back of his squeaky chair. There's a fan spinning lazily on the ceiling. He's got a glass of old Kentucky whiskey pressed against his eye, from where some gorilla in a cheap suit tried to play his face like the bongos, see? Then in walks this dame. She looks like 10 ounces of sugar poured into an 8-ounce bowl, you know what one mean? And she says she's being followed by get this, by some shady Spanish detectives. Assange's lawyer, probably.
This is the hard-boiled noir fiction I come to Reddit for.
Quick shout-out to Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, then. The first few in particular lean very heavily on hard-boiled detective tropes if that's your thing. All the dames and goons and witty one-liners mixed in with a really neat magic system and an incredible overarching plotline.
Always love seeing shout-outs to the Dresden series. Would highly recommend the audiobooks of the series. James Masters does an amazing job. He really hits his stride the latter half of the second book. Got to meet him at a Comic-Con and had him sign one of my audiobooks, Polka Will Never Die.
I heard you can use Polka to disable certain landmines. Apparently the Finns used it during the Winter War.
Should have done it subtly so no one suspects, like the brilliant job done with Epstein or Khashoggi.
No consequences came of either, so I guess those were pretty brilliant.
I mean, the US just openly assassinated that Iranian general and nothing really came of that either.
It still blows my mind that is the case here. I thought that for certain the US would be facing war with Iran. Every conceivable hint pointed that way. It speaks more to the situation of Iran and instability there that they decided to ignore one of their own government officials being assassinated while under state-sanctioned orders, than instigate a war.
I guess being surrounded by 35 or more US bases and the biggest military in the world does not give you many options other than annihilation. I always think of this Bill Hicks bit as a comparison.
It saddens me to say this, but I was more concerned that Trump would just march troops right in than I was of the Iranians.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.